咱嚟看一段嘅聖經，第新約馬太福音第14章22到33節。
Let's take a look at the Bible passage, Matthew chapter 14, 22 to 33.
咱只特別係用英文嚟讀，你嚟看漢文聖經嘅人先嚟看呢個聖經，還是看這個 screen 嚇？
Immediately Jesus made the disciples get into the boat and go on ahead of him to the other side while he dismissed the crowd. After he had dismissed them, he went up on a mountainside by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But the boat was already a considerable distance from land, buffeted by the waves because the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it's you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God."
Thank you。喺聖經裏面有真多嗰隻風暴的 storm。
In the Bible, there are many records of violent storms.
喺舊約裏面，當約啦，喺佢他是借準嘅時，忽然間喺海中有一個真大嘅風暴出嚟。
In the Old Testament, we have the instance of Jonah, whose ship was bound for Tarshish, and there was a violent storm.
喺耶穌時代，
During Jesus' time,
門徒及耶穌常常喺加利利海嘅中間，都着一擺一擺嘅 storming， 一個風暴裏面。
one time after another, Jesus, when he was with his disciples, they encountered storms in the Sea of Galilee.
喺保羅嘅時代，保羅借準喺羅馬嘅中間，忽然間都有一個真大嘅風暴。
During Paul's time, when he was bound for Rome, he also encountered violent storm.
這個嘅 storm 是忽然間嚟，小未夠嘅時間就出嚟咯。
This outrageous storm, they came so suddenly without any notice.
即係真係人生忽然間都有一個風暴嘅時陣。
In your life, for example, if you encounter such an unexpected violent storm,
咱就去面對。
how are we supposed to come
喺
face
人
to
生
face with it?
風暴嘅中間，到一個所在是最安全嘅所在。
In life's turbulent time, what's the safest place? What's its haven?
其實你哋先嚟問頭一個問題：
So the first question we ask ourselves, what are life
什麼
storms?
是人生嘅風暴呢？
What does it mean when we say life storms?
耶穌你對照頭一個事例是將水變做酒。
The first miracle Jesus performed was to transform water into wine.
為什麼耶穌將這個事例出嚟呢？
Why did Jesus perform this miracle?
真簡單，
It's a very simple reason for
因為
that.
耶穌去參加這個哀宴嘅時陣，
This time Jesus was in a wedding feast,
忽然間有一句話出嚟，
and then there was this phrase that popped up.
酒用盡咯。
The wine is gone.
這四個字就是人生風暴嘅原因。
These four words encapsulate life's turbulent times.
在婚禮中間，酒是代表真正歡喜嘅物件，
In a wedding feast, wine symbolizes everything that is abundant and lovely.
代表咱嘅享受，咱嘅 enjoyment。
These are our pleasures, our enjoyment.
忽然間酒用盡咯，
Without notice, the wine is gone.
為什麼酒會用盡了呢？
Why will the wine be gone?
當咱備辦結婚嘅時陣，
When you get into marriage,
咱大行安排得真好勢，
you seem to have arranged everything perfectly.
請羅罪人客嚟，
How many guests are you inviting?
備辦羅罪食物，
How many food will you be serving?
的確真正夠嘢，
I'm sure you have already made enough
唔
preparation
那
for it.
是夠嘢，
Not only enough and
我
sufficient,
應該是出頭，
I'm sure you prepared more than just that.
但是酒用盡
But
咯，
however, in this instance, the wine is gone.
的確發生一件小未夠嘅代志，
This is something so unexpected, so sudden.
這就是人生風暴嘅原因。
This is the reason for life's turbulent time.
有種
Unthinkable happened.
unexpected 嘅代志發生喺咱嘅中間，
Something unthinkable, unexpected happened.
可能請一個人，規個10個人嚟，
It could be that you just invite one person, but he brought with him his entire family.
大家人真夠啉酒。
Maybe there are very heavy drinkers there.
結果唔係將囊中嘅酒啉了，講無夠。
Not only did they finish up the wine reserve, the wine is gone.
人生就是安尼，
Life is something like that.
有時真正係平順，
It seems that there are very peaceful times.
當戰好些，
Everything seems to be going your
忽
way.
然間一個電話嚟
But there's suddenly you get a phone call.
，unexpected 嘅大事發生喺你生命嘅中間，
Something very unexpected happened in your life.
你見到有人揭立佢，
Probably your child was kidnapped.
連上個恐怖就嚟咯。
Then the violent times of life come in.
annual check up 去檢查你嘅身軀，
When you go for an annual health checkup,
忽然間有一個問題發生
then there's a problem that arises.
，cancer 喺你嘅生命嘅中間，
Then you realize you have cancer.
連上個恐怖就嚟咯。
Then I call that life's violent times.
Lehman
Turbulent.
Brothers 倒落關閉以後，
When Lehman Brothers, they closed down,
戰在人喺經濟裏面都到連上個恐怖。
many people encountered life's turbulent moments.
本來戰爭係平順，
It seems that everything was already perfectly okay.
忽然間問題就嚟咯，
And then suddenly something very unexpected pop up.
這就係連上嘅恐怖。
This is life's turbulent
是
times.
咱完全小物嗰個中間發生喺咱嘅生命嘅中
This
間
is，something completely unexpected. It just dawned on your life.
但係其實聖經戰爭就有講，
But the Bible already clearly said,
約伯記第5章第7節，連上第4章的確拄着患難，就親像瞎子回騰。
this was as Job recorded, yet man is born to trouble, as surely as sparks fly upward.
無通避免嘅代志。
This is something that you cannot avoid.
約伯個講，
And Job also said,
連人為好連人所事，日子戰爭的最有患難。
he also said, man born of woman is a few days and full of trouble.
除非你唔是老母生出嚟嘅人，
Unless you are someone who is not born of a woman.
嗱你是老母生出嚟嘅人，的確拄着真最患難。
If you're anyone born of a woman, your life shall surely be full of trouble.
所以你心理裏面應該有好嘅備辦。
That's why psychologically, emotionally, you need a lot of preparation.
當問題來嘅時陣，
When problem
當
arises,
困難來嘅時陣，
when difficulty arises,
你嘅心已經 be ready，
then by that time you're already perfectly ready.
因為你知啊，
Because you already
你
know,
對照的確拄着患難。
you know that in your lifetime you shall surely encounter lots of trouble.
咁真係問另外一個問題，
Let's ask another question.
你為什麼人生會真最患難、真最恐怖呢？
Then we ask ourselves, why are there so many storms in our lives?
聖經裏面有3擺戰爭大嘅 storming 恐怖出嚟。
There are 3 records of big storms in the Bible.
第 Jonah 嘅時代，
That first one was during Jonah's time. There was a time in
第
Jonas.
耶穌時代有2擺。
During Jesus' time, there were 2 instances.
這3擺 storms 則代表3個原因。
3 storms, 3 instances, they tell us the 3 reasons for the storm.
就是咱人生都有恐怖3戰爭同嘅原因。
Those are the 3 important reasons why we have our turbulent times.
這是上帝對咱嘅管教
The，first is God's discipline.
這是 Jonah 嘅 storm。
This was the instance of Jonah's storm.
Jonah 嘅故事咁咱可能真正寫。
Maybe you're already very, very familiar with Jonah's story.
Jonah 是上帝先知，上帝僕人。
Jonah was a prophet, is a prophet of God.
上帝叫 Jonah 去尼尼微傳福音，
God wanted Jonah to go to Nineveh,
但是 Jonah 冇要去，
but Jonah refused.
佢走去塔斯，
He went to Tarshish.
一個西，一個東，
One was east, and the other was west.
佢完全冇要聽上帝講話，
He refused the command of God.
因為尼尼微是當時亞述帝國嘅首都嘅 capital。
That time, Nineveh is the capital of Assyria.
亞述帝國當時是猶太人真大嘅敵人，
The Assyrian Empire, that's the greatest enemy of the Jews then.
對猶太人真真係更苦，真真係苦毒嘅。
This Assyrian kingdom posed a big threat to the Jews.
所以 Jonah 冇要去尼尼微去傳福音，
For that particular reason, Jonah refused to go to Nineveh.
佢冇一個敵人認不上帝嘅救恩，
He didn't want his enemy to know salvation.
佢走去塔斯。
He went to Tarshish instead.
當這個準備大海嘅中間嘅時陣，
As the ship is in the middle of the sea,
聖經講，
the Bible said,
耶和華喺海中興起大風大浪，
then God raised storm in the sea.
就是清風作浪啊！
This time, it's really a violent storm.
鬼嘅船前危險都要沉落去嘅時
This
陣，
time, the ship is in peril.
大家人都驚。
Everybody was so scared.
啲船裏面有真罪是話幫人無信耶穌
There
嘅
were
人，
so many Gentiles aboard the ship.
大家人愛求家己所信嘅上帝
They were，
所信嘅神。
They were praying to their own gods, their own deities.